it's May 15th and I'm Josh Greiveldinger. I want to extend a special thank you to our writer Kevin McLean for taking over hosting duties on Monday. Before appearing on camera, I needed a little time for my hair to grow out from the corona cut I gave it. Even now, everyone should feel very lucky that they don't have to see the back of my head because I certainly couldn't see it when I cut it. And to all the moms who were concerned by my absence and reached out to make sure I was staying healthy, I'm flattered, and I missed you too. Just how long have we been in quarantine? I knit a sock. Another 2 months and this little guy's gonna have a buddy. Today was supposed to be the last day of shelter in place here in Los Angeles, and this would have been our last episode. Unfortunately, our country has been unable to pull together in a time of crisis, and that has extended the pain we're all going through. The fact is, we don't know when this will end. Even in states where the shelter-in-place orders have been lifted, the only thing that can stop a second wave of infection is if we each individually make sacrifices in our personal and social lives to reduce transmission. So to everyone who loves their countrymen enough to continue making these sacrifices, welcome to the lockdown. Over 85,000 people have died of COVID-19 in America. Some critics of an aggressive government response will point out that despite the growing number of deaths, most people who contract COVID-19 recover. But that's not the whole story. Only focusing on the death toll is like pointing at a polio survivor in an iron lung saying, "See, he didn't die. Polio isn't a big problem." Many of the survivors will have persistent lung issues due to the amount of damage they sustain from the virus itself and from the body's immune response fighting it off. But COVID-19 doesn't just affect the lungs. In addition to pulmonary embolisms, doctors are seeing blood clots throughout the body. These have caused sudden strokes in young people who were otherwise healthy and asymptomatic. So to all the people on Twitter who keep tweeting at me that heart disease kills more people than coronavirus, will you take this seriously now that it is a heart disease? Another recent discovery is the prevalence of internal inflammation in infected children. This leads to fever and a massively damaging immune response. Children are more likely to have these symptoms than the lung conditions that we've seen in adults. It's a lot, and it's confusing. Due to the seemingly random assortment of afflictions that coronavirus causes, I would like to suggest renaming COVID-19 to the Mad Libs disease. Dr. Fauci testified before the Senate on Wednesday and defended his reticence in regard to school reopenings, saying, "I'm very careful and hopefully humble in knowing that I don't know everything about this disease." He was rebuked by President Trump as a result of his testimony. And really, as a representative of the Trump administration, he should know better than to be publicly humble. They don't do that. Bars in the great state of Wisconsin were packed with patrons this week after the state Supreme Court struck down Governor's stay-at-home order. You know what they say in Wisconsin? If the coronavirus doesn't get you, the drunk driving will. The MLB and NBA are gearing up for the return of sports as soon as July. The games will be played without crowds, meaning fans will have to give up on those timeless stadium pleasures like spending $20 for parking, using dirty bathrooms, spending $60 on overpriced beer and hot dogs, and trying to watch the game while obnoxious drunks chant incoherently behind you. But hey, we all have to make sacrifices. And speaking of sacrifices, thousands of brave people have signed up on onedaysooner.org expressing their interest in volunteering to test a future vaccine by being deliberately exposed to the coronavirus. This type of testing, called a human challenge trial, has been used in the development of many vaccines and disease treatments. While I'll admit I'm not heroic enough to do this myself, I would encourage all the brave folks who attended reopening protests without a mask to sign up and put the coronavirus where their mouth is. As I stated earlier, when I started the lockdown, I anticipated today would be the final episode. Unfortunately, for my friends and family who feel obligated to watch every show, we're going to be continuing indefinitely. To adapt to this new reality, we're scaling back production to once a week, every Friday, in hopes of avoiding burnout and keeping you laughing. If nothing else, it'll give me more time to work on that other sock. We'll see you next week. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and for the love of America, please stay home.